Hi guys, this is Mandy from MandyleePlays. If you want to hear a noob's perspective on the Spyro games, this is your video. So, let's get started. So first I'm going to tell you a bit of history about the game. Spyro was first introduced in 1998 by Insomniac Games, and he was one of the biggest platformers of the time, rivaling Crash and Mario. So you know, that time where everybody wanted to have a mascot platformer game. Yep, he came from that, but he did stand out. So fast forward to 2018, we got Crash the Insane Trilogy, and since that got very positive and popular reception, so with the success of the Insane Trilogy, a lot of people wanted the same for Spyro, since they, came from the same generation of platforming games. So in 2018, they announced that they were going to make a Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and a lot of fans were happy, and a lot of new people were happy too, because a lot of people did not really play Spyro. But this Spyro game is going to be published by Activision and the developer Toys for Bob, which I'm not really familiar on, so I can't really say much about their work. And the game was made on the Unreal Engine 4. And it's out now for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I am not sure about a Switch port. The people who want a Switch port, I just recommend you wait, and it's gonna become like the Crash games where they're gonna port it eventually. And I don't know if it's coming to the PC. I haven't really been keeping tabs on the PC games. And Crash, again, went on the PC. So I think it's just a matter of waiting and giving it time, because the PC and the Switch are different from, the traditional consoles, PlayStation 4 and the Xbox, because the Switch has the portability and the PC has all the other stuff, graphics, mods, all that jazz. So it's perfectly understandable on why they're taking longer on those, because those two platforms require a little bit more attention than PlayStation and Xbox. But again, it's not 100% guaranteed, but if it's, following the line of Crash, then it's just a matter of waiting. So I don't know about the original series, I never played them, but I did always know about Spyro in some way, shape, or form when I was growing up. It's kind of one of those gaming mascots, even though you might have not played the game, because he was so popular at the time. I mean, everybody knew who he was, the little purple dragon. So even though I didn't play the games, I still knew who Spyro was. And it was very sad to see him, kind of ostracized and thrown from publisher to publisher, not knowing what to do. So to hear that he got his own Reignited Trilogy did, make me happy, and a lot of fans were happy, so that's great. And I hear the Reignited Trilogy really stays true to its roots. Even Spyro is voiced by the same guy who voiced Spyro back then. He voices the Reignited Spyro too, so that's a neat touch, and it adds to the whole nostalgic thing. And not in a bad way. I know nostalgia is kind of a hit and miss right now, because a lot of people think it's pandering, but I always think that if nostalgia is done right, where it's not too pandering. So this is not just a port over of the original games, it's a remaster. They built it from the ground up using the Unreal Engine 4. And man, does it show. The graphics look so clean and crisp. It's so colorful and vibrant. So it has that feeling of a very relaxing game. So you go around saving the dragons, setting them free from their crystallized state. But your little dragonfly buddy is part of the game mechanics. If he gets low leveled, he turns blue and depressed. But you could feed him butterflies, which you could get from burning sheep, burning enemies, burning whatever you can burn, and he eats some and he gets, his power back. Spyro himself is very witty, and he's very funny too. A little bit naive at some points, but Spyro is supposed to be a younger dragon, and it shows, because all he wants to do is go out and adventure and just not stick around in one place. As for the story, and I'm just going to talk about Spyro the Dragon, the first game, not the other two, because I haven't played those yet. But if you want a in-depth review of all three games, I will leave a link to my buddy Jordan Fringe's video. He did a 30-minute review of all three games, and I highly suggest you check it out. So there's not really a story in Spyro the Dragon. You have goals and missions, but there's not really any lore into it, so I won't be too hard about about the lack of story given the nature of the game and how it's played. To be honest, it's very fun even without, complicated story. Just have to go do this and that's it, and you just do what you want to do. So I don't mind the lack of story because it fits the game very well. Okay, so now on to the gameplay. Spyro controls very nicely, very smooth. It has that modern feel. I'm not sure how the original games controlled, but this one is very nice and responsive. The only problem I have is the flying segments. Very confusing at times because when you press the analog stick up, he goes down, and you press it down, he goes up, so it has that reverse thing. I get really confused with that. When I want to go up, my instinct is to go up, not to go down. So that is very frustrating, and he's kind of heavy for being a little purple dragon. So when you're flying, he has some weight to him, and that's not really the best when it comes to flying in video games. But I just think they could have done the flying a little bit more better, or given you the option to change the analog stick where if it goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, it goes down. Because people like me are confused with the down, up, down, just shebang bang. So that is my only critique about the mechanics of the game. So that's pretty much the gameplay. It's very fun, it's very awesome if you avoid the flying segments, and it makes for some good platforming and dragon shenanigans. So it's not as intense as Crash Insane Trilogy, yet it's still very fun and enjoyable. So as somebody who didn't play the originals, I'm so glad they made the Reignited Trilogy to give us a chance to experience Spyro the Dragon. And I thank Toys for Bob for making it happen, and Activision, I guess. So I'm really happy with the Reignited Trilogy. I can't wait to jump into 2 after I finish 1. I'm almost done with 1 actually. I'm trying to 100% each world. The flying world, it's gonna take a little bit longer, but I'm trying to 100% most of them. So with all that being said, the game is awesome. It's great. I highly recommend it. So I don't really mind these remastered pandering to nostalgia games because they're good for the gaming industry as a whole. Preserving games is not easy, so I'm glad this new remastered trend is picking up so I can keep the older games alive for a new audience. And with all that being said, if you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you like my content and want to see more, please hit that subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. Did you guys like the Reignited Trilogy? Are you old fans, new fans? Did you buy the game? Let me know in the comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. You can follow me at MandyleePlays. I hope you guys have an awesome day and play a good game. Bye.